What's up, guys? It's James. I haven't put up a video in a while, but we're here at YCS Orlando with my friend and teammate Marcus, LOL. And he brought a pretty LOL-worthy deck, GIGAPLANT, to this event that he's been working on for a while. And I am very curious to hear his thoughts on why he brought this. But he made top 8. So really, as did another GIGAPLANT, so I guess GIGAPLANT on the rise. But let's hear, why did you even play this? What are you doing?
Yeah, so I mean, I've been talking about this deck for a while now. Me and ProStorm have been talking about it for a while. We've been yapping. There's been 0 results.
Yeah, none.
But we've been yapping. For sure. We've been yapping like we won. But I think it's good. I think it's a good deck. It's the only deck of the format that you'll get an auto win starting. Only deck that can do the things that it does, which is cool. It's kind of replacing Dragon Turbo in that sense, where you get quote unquote auto win by having Future Fusion. This is a natural auto win. Yeah, and it's like a 50% auto win going first. It's somebody said it's a modern format deck without all the modern format hand traps, and it's accurate.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, all right. Yeah. I think it does have a better mid-range game plan than Dragon Turbo, but some of the stuff you said, whatever. But yeah, all right. let's see the deck.
Yeah. So. Monsters. So old GIGAPLANT decks play like a super high monster count, and we decided to kind of cut it down just for the good monsters. So obviously double Lone Fire, double Giga. Definitely don't need 3 of that. Double Dandy. Doesn't look like it does much, but I'll get into reasons why afterwards. One of each of the tuners.
Yep.
So you can kind of get different levels.
You can show some like very basic combo afterwards, just the super bare bones.
One copy of Titanial. You find yourself looping this, especially mid game a lot. You'll be looping with GIGAPLANT, and like Value, for example, can never out it. Like it's virtually just game.
Super annoying. I feel like your plant, like people talk about Amaryllis being like Titanial Turbo, but when you're not full comboing, I mean, so is this deck.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a more consistent Amaryllis in my mind. But you have the ability to auto win.
Yeah.
1 copy of Cyber Valley.
Interesting.
And 1 copy of Sanga, like the non-engine kind of starters.
The 1 Valley is interesting. But
the deck started off with 3 Valleys, like 1 for 1 Dandy, but then ended up cutting 1 for 1, cut down on the Valleys.
Well, you saw the Swedish guy's video or something, right? Like that's why you.
No, who's that?
Oh, I don't know. I thought you got the Valley.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
So yeah, very low monster count. 1 Valley. Like, sometimes you'll find lines where you have like Dandy tokens and like even Valley with DDR, and like banishing plants to get them back is all.
Did you ever use the banish from hand?
I did. Yeah.
In this tournament?
Yeah.
And I thought the answer was gonna be no.
No. I used Valley effect to stack a card more than I drew.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't use the draw effect very often.
Huh.
But yeah.
Interesting.
So then more engine cards to get combo is 3 Super Solar. I feel like this is something that most decks never played before.
Yeah.
As in GIGAPLANTs, and this is kind of like one of the big optimizations that me and ProStorm did, was adding this into the deck to really make use of the Dandy tokens.
Yeah, it definitely finds the Lone Fire faster. I mean.
Yeah. It's one of the ways that your Lone Fire, Super Vice goes from something like 20% to in the 40s.
Right.
Is because now you get more combos like this.
Yeah.
Really good. Obviously 3 Super Vice.
Yeah. And just to be clear, you might do something like foolish Dandy and then you Super Solar the token.
Yeah, exactly. Or like sometimes
just turn 2
sometimes you have like a discard trap Dandy plus this, so like it's not a turn 1 combo, but
unless they have oppression.
Yeah, but you have Wing Blast for the back row, get tokens, and then you have this.
Yeah.
2 DDR. And then 2 marks as the equips.
And you like this ratio? I mean, obviously the 3 Supervise you have to play, but...
Yeah, 3 Supervise you have to play. I feel like this was something other versions never did before, was play 7. They had like something like 5 or 6, but this, like, once you make your first power tool and it sticks, like, you're just consistently getting value.
Right.
And, like, it lets your second power tool mid-game also get more cards.
Power tool is definitely a very good card, like, even without, like, sort of the OTK elements.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those cards that never really got its time. And, I think it's
you're a power tool enjoyer. I know this about you.
Yeah, I am. Multiple formats. You'll see me playing power tool.
I'm glad you got to use it.
And then so we have 3 hidden armory. Obviously just insane.
Yeah.
2 gold sark. So this was like another card that most other versions never played originally. But again, it just increases the amount of times you can combo, because now you can open Gold Sark plus like any combination of big DDR this or Gold Sark this and this.
Yeah.
So now like, it's more than just.
It's definitely, it's, you know, maybe a 3 or 4 card combo, but a lot of them are interchangeable pieces for sure. And also, I mean, Sark is not like, it's like a pretty good card in this style of deck. You can always Sark for the Trinator Storm,
exactly.
like Lone Fire, even if you don't have the...
Yeah, Sarking for your missing piece is good because you do play trap cards to buy turn.
I think that makes a big difference. Like in like a fish deck, for example, I wasn't a huge fan of Sark because it's like only searching and waiting, but in this, like you at least have the option to...
Yeah, exactly. 2 copies of Miracle.
Yeah.
3 was a little clunky, but it's just so good in the grind game. Like anything past turn 1 is insane.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing it really helps you with turn 1 is if you open like Foolish and you have Foolish, Lone Fire, and then Supervise with this, then you have full combo. And then obviously there's really cool lines you can like Brio, like infinite loop this.
Yeah, so you used it like 5 times?
Yeah, I used one game I Brio bounces 5 times and then was able to make like a huge kill push.
I think also the thing, like, if you ever make your board, whatever board you're going to make, Gigaplant, Titanial with Power Tool or whatever, you know, they're going to spend a bunch of resource to out it. So even just having like 1 Miracle as follow-up can often just be too much.
Yeah. Then I played 2 copies of Upstart. This like
2?
Yeah, 2. This started as 3, but then
I know that hurts you.
Yeah, but I had to. It was either so the last slot was actually Upstart or the third copy of Upstart or Brain.
Sure.
And Brain had to be somewhere in the 55.
Yeah, why would you cut Brain? That's like the best card in the format.
Yeah. No. But it's like it just Brain doesn't do a whole lot when you're starting. So like anytime I go first, I side it out. But I felt like having it in my deck, I feel like I'm so comfortable going first that I wanted the extra card. Yeah. If I lose the roll, which I lost a lot of dice rolls. And so, yeah, basically the third Upstart would just be kind of increasing the overall consistency of seeing your combo by maybe a percent or 2. But I figured that just having the additional card when I go second is just better. And Brain is actually kind of bad main deck, so.
Nice.
1 Foolish. This card's actually insanely good in this deck.
Yeah.
It does a lot. And I spend a lot of time trying to find an alternative if there's like additional copies of something that did something similar, but there's not. You can't play like Tomato, you can't play UFO Turtle because monsters don't really die by battle. But yeah, Foolish is insane. And then I played Heavy and Trunade. No MST in the main. I didn't expect to see a whole lot of oppression game 1s. Going forward, I would expect to maybe see more, but again, these are just like the blowout cards and very, very good.
You can pop your own Supervise.
Yeah, return your own Supervise.
Yeah.
Loop with Miracle Fertilizer.
Yeah.
A lot of time you're actually just gold sarking for Trunade just so they don't road you.
Road,
yeah.
Stardust.
Yeah. And then trap cards were 3 Wind Blasts. Again, the combos with having in-hand Dandy and Super Solar protects your board, which is really important because there's not a whole lot of 2-card combos that can crack your turn 1. Yeah. One of which is like Shura Kalut, but if you have like a Wind Blast, obviously just breaks it. And then I played these guys as well.
Oh, you mean Torrential?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that was kind of one of the newer ones. I wasn't playing it. I had a second Valley. Pro Storm suggested
you had 1 for 1 at one point too.
Yeah, I definitely had 1 for 1 third Valley. I wasn't playing Dust Shoot for a while. I wasn't playing this because I thought like I don't really care about seeing their hand. I just wanted to focus more on comboing.
You care. You might care.
I care. I care. And it was good. Yeah, Torrent was good because I found myself siding it in a lot versus Dyna anyways.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
And like people always play weird against decks like this.
Yeah, they just rush you down.
Yeah, they think that they just have to summon every turn and then you just hit them with it. And
it's just good to buffer damage.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you went from playing like 1 or 2 traps to now you're on 6, which
I was playing 3 discard traps the whole time.
Yeah.
But then like slowly start adding more. Like
I feel like that's how it goes though when you're testing a deck like this. Like,
especially me, like I don't really like trap cards in general.
Yeah. But you'll admit.
Yeah.
You know?
Sometimes I'll admit when they're needed.
Okay, let's see the side.
2 Consecrated.
Makes sense. Just stalls you out until you find
exactly. It just buys you turns against Blackburn, which is all you need. Like it forces.
I saw one game actually, not to do tricks on it a little bit, but you were just sitting on Consecrated for like multiple turns, and finally you just Trunaded and like one-shotted him through like 10k or whatever. So I mean, I guess that's really the point.
Yeah, he was at 10k, and I killed him through it. It was.
Did his job.
Good. Yeah, it was good. Then I sided 2 copies of Vanities.
Yeah. For the
it's
degen
it's just
decks.
good. Yeah, it's like another degen card, another degen deck.
Yep.
I cited 2 copies of Mobius
Now,
and Breaker. So these are kind of, Breaker is more so for like Dyna, but it also answered. You know, it's kind of weird how to predict how people are going to play.
yes.
And so, in my head, I know how you're supposed to side against the deck.
Right.
I know what cards like aren't good. But the fact of the matter is, not everyone else does. So like, people are leaving terrible cards in.
You
So
only
this,
play in like Master Restrict, bro. Like,
well, Master Restrict is actually good.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
well,
Master
yeah.
Restrict is actually good, and that's a card like I don't think people know to put
Yeah.
in, but it's good.
yeah.
But stuff like D Prison isn't good.
Right, but they could, or they don't have much else to put in. They just don't know.
Or they just don't know. Obviously, like Oppression and things like that, Dust Tornadoes. So like, you find yourself not like setting cards if you have like these, and then you hit like Prison or Oppression plus Dust. And then like I also cited a copy of Soul Exchange. So Soul Exchange plus Mobius against the value deck is really good.
Yeah. Can also help you cheat out the Gigaplant, I guess.
Yeah.
Or Titanium.
I do cite 1 copy of Gores.
That's good, yeah.
I think it was fine. It wasn't
Would you
bad.
main it? I feel like you could main it,
You
right?
could, but like I don't want too many cards that don't really do
Yeah.
anything for combo.
Sure.
But yeah, and Gores, I don't think I summoned it, but
Yeah.
it was fine. And then so spells, I do cite 1 copy of Autonomous
Yeah, what the hell is this?
for like Amaryllis. Yeah, pretty much for Amaryllis, or like if the mirror. It's like you can, if they go first, then you have hidden armor. You can get to their Lone Fire. Get to their power.
You did play
tool.
the mirror. You don't say what you will.
I did play the mirror. I didn't play against any Amaryllis, but like it's just 1 card that kind of can steal you the game in the mirror
Sure.
if you're going second, and I think it's fine. Because Titanium is so good in the mirror that this is pretty much the only thing that Titanium
can negate the equips.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it can negate the equip where it can't negate this.
Yeah.
I do cite MST for Oppression decks and like Black Wings. 1 copy of Vortex for like Amaryllis decks or like Flighty monster decks.
Yeah.
And 1 copy of Soul Exchange again, just with like Mobius
Sure.
against like value, things like that.
You could use it in the mirror with your Lone Fire.
Yeah. And then I cite 2 copies of the Decree for when I go first. I don't really put this in going second. Maybe against Blackwing I put like 1 copy.
Yeah.
But again, like you're playing such a low trap count deck, and like
Sure.
Consecrating Decree just wins you a lot, anyways. And then I cite 1 copy of Solemn. This is pretty much like the go first card when I take
Yeah.
out Brain Control and I just replace it with
A modern deck
with
building, bro.
Solemn. Yeah, exactly.
Brain rot. All right, just do the extra quick.
Yeah, extract's pretty standard. Like 1 copy Armory Arm, Cataster, Brio, Goyo, double Power Tool. Like you always want 1 for turn 1. You rarely make 2 on turn 1, but
Yeah, that's
you want
worth
1 for
having.
after. 1 copy of Black
I
Rose.
think the extra deck's really not that tight. Like, I don't think you like.
Yeah, like,
there's not
there's
extra shit
room.
that you really want.
Yeah,
like
there's-
wish you could play necessarily.
Yeah, exactly. There's room for sure.
You didn't do Cyber Draft. You didn't do any
No,
Cyber Draft
no
Chimera.
Cyber. This is really good in this deck because
Yeah.
whenever you're making it, it's usually like Super Bright Channeling 1 and then this Channeling 2, so
True.
the dupes will always miss timing.
Or even just a flip. Maybe you can one shot them through Gores.
Yeah, exactly. Like this deck, you find yourself not attacking. Like your first play you don't really
Right.
attack direct.
The Gores is the only way they could possibly crack it.
So
yeah.
you usually just like wait a turn, and then you build a better board, and then
Right.
and then you usually play
Sure.
through Gores.
That makes sense.
2 Stardust.
That's good. Yeah, I've watched a lot of matches.
Yeah,
where you make
like
two.
when I'm comboing, you make 2 a lot. Like
Yeah.
one plays around the Mirror Force, and then if they set a monster, the second one can like play around the Dyna.
Big brain.
Yeah, and then Red Dragon. This is like one of the cards that you need in order to kill through Gores.
Yeah.
Colossal for Colossal Armory Arm.
Yeah, it comes up.
Thought Ruler.
Yep.
Cool play. You know, not
Tell
to
him. Let him know.
Not to do tricks on myself, but so
Do a little
I was at 1100. Fun was at 8K. Had Battle Fader in hand with a Trag in hand. Had Absolute Zero and a Monarch on the field with a Caius on top. So it was pretty much win this turn. But I can't attack direct. I was at 11, so I can't just go like a regular Colossal Crash. So I had to go Brio, Bounce, Fertilizer. I did that. I Brio, Bounce, Fertilizer about 5 times. I ended on Thought Ruler, Colossal with Armory Arm. Equipped Thought Ruler over the Monarch to get enough life points so then I can then Colossal Armory.
Yeah. Everybody was seeing that. It's not that big.
So that was really cool. That was my play of the tournament. Black Brute Drago. Doesn't come up a whole lot, but it's really good.
Yeah, it's really strong.
Yeah, it's just a really good card. But it doesn't come up a whole lot.
Get your copies.
and then the level 9s. Gotham's doesn't come up a whole lot, but I needed it to do that 10k game shot earlier.
That's funny.
And Mistrum is actually kind of good in this deck.
Yeah, definitely. Same thing with the Black Rose. You can
yeah, you make it pretty easy.
chain like 1 super rose.
Yeah, so I am really happy.
I'm glad you got the top with it.
Yeah, it's the first time this deck has topped any Edison event ever.
Yeah, show them the really just the literal, just Lone Fire supervise basic opening.
Yeah.
And obviously, it depends on your last cards. You usually have at least some other extender.
So like obviously, Lone Fire gets you Gigaplant, you equip.
Yeah.
Game 1, you don't need to do double Lone Fire. You want to leave typically want to leave the second Lone Fire in your deck for
it's a good draw.
A good draw. It's a super solar target as well.
Yeah. Save that for the master class.
That into Power Tool.
Yeah. And then
Supervise gets this back.
So yeah, and then this is the pretty interesting part for me, because then when you use the power tool, you're hitting 2 supervise.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, like, it's a 2 out of 3 chance to hit it. And I think if you hit there, you basically just auto win the game.
Yeah, this is a 66% auto win here.
Yeah. So I mean, that introduces some element of luck, but I mean, it's not like hitting the mark leaves you in necessarily a bad spot either.
Yeah, like they still have 2. They need to answer these.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're getting a plus off either of them. Yeah, exactly. Not
most
turn
decks
0.
just can. If you have a trap card, to interrupt there, value has to go pretty much like
Brio or something,
or like Goyo or Brio, and then if you whip, that means you have mark. So now you can mark. Now you can mark the Goyo, take back the Giga, normal summon it, get back Lone Fire, and then you make an 8.
But if you hit supervise, then usually you're going.
So you have 2 options. Like game 1. Game 1, you can go Lone Fire back into Nettles, and then you can either make Stardust here with the floating Giga,
which if they have like Vortex or like Dark, like Torrential next turn,
So this plays it better into like more back rows for next turn, or like against Frogs, you would just go, you would leave this,
and you get to keep the supervise,
and then you can go like Continuum Defense mode so that they can't crash Absolute Zero.
Yep.
And like this is still just auto win, because even if they have Torrent next turn, like you're getting a card off this, you're going to bring back Giga, you're going to threaten Stardust by doing this, by doing Lone Fire wherever it went into Nettles. They have to Torrent.
There's definitely a lot of really unique lines that come up with it the more you play it. I know Big T has a spreadsheet, and
there's multiple spreadsheets. There's like constant dual puzzles in the Discord.
Puzzles. That's just puzzling. I mean, no, if you play the deck a lot, you'll see some really wonky shit, but it's fun. It's fun to play a deck like this. So anyway, congrats, buddy. Any last words? Any shout outs to the?
Shout out to the Bongo Boys. They hated from day 1, but
we'd be hating.
Yeah, you hated, but we did it.
We did it.
Yeah,
we all pitched in.
Yeah, I did it.
Big Mike.
Shout out, big Terry, big Pro Storm. Me and him put a lot of time, blood, sweat, tears into this deck.
That's good. Just scooting around in the background.
Dallas from side deck lent me the cards I needed.
Oh hell yeah!
So, I can't say Big D. So big Dallas.
Big Dallas. Big Stevie.
Big Stevie. Yeah. But yeah.
All of them.
Everyone.
Letio, Phil, Stevie, Ludo.
The fellas. Yeah, Ludo.
Alistair.
Alistair, who had me sign a substitute for some reason.
Sure.
Yeah. But be on the lookout for this deck. It's good.
Dude, it's on the rise. 2 tops. Can't really knock
Most
it.
represented deck in Top Cut.
Yeah. Least represented deck in the entire tournament.
Least represented deck in the tournament. Most represented deck in Top Cut.
Yeah. How does that work?
It's a good deck.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you topped. Good job. Peace.